Hey, what is up, guys? It's your boy Speed here, and you guys, you give a ton of support on yesterday's video. If you don't know what yesterday's video is because you're not subscribed or you didn't, I don't know, you're watching this on some random day. Basically, we reviewed a Drow game. It was a Guardian Drow game. We kind of just talked about his general gameplay, right? We went over all the mistakes. And so I said in that video, you could submit replays to me, and basically I would pick one of you guys and go over the games. Now, so many people submitted replays, like 15 or 20 people, so instead of doing one, I'm only going to do one for this video. This is going to be about a Herald game. Yeah, you heard that right. A Herald 5 Undying, Position 5 Undying support. We're going to do that. And then for the following video, I'm probably going to choose one of the off-laners, position 4s, or mid-laners because we haven't covered it yet. Maybe I'll try to do one for each position if I can find the replays. I haven't looked through them all yet, but thank you guys for submitting. I am looking through all your messages. Hopefully I've responded to most of you guys. I haven't responded to everyone yet, but I'm going to hopefully respond to everyone soon. So thank you again. And let's get into it. So the question fat, I guess it's not fat. Pat? It looks like fat, but it's not. Pat. The question Pat had, or what Pat asked in general, was, in specific, what do I do in the mid-game? I don't know what to do in the mid-game, so we'll skip over the laning stage and we'll actually just go to the mid-game of Undying. Now, to be fair, I would say the main benefit of Undying is actually his laning stage, to be fair, so part of me does want to cover it, but I was looking through the items before I started the video, just out of curiosity, and I noticed, I don't know how this happens, but you had a Holy Locket, and then 31 minutes into the game, you don't have a Holy Locket. And frankly, I have no idea how that happens. You end the game with, like, at 38 minutes, you have 2 items. 2 items! You don't have a windlace, a stick, sentries, a clarity, dust. You don't really need dust this game. You don't have anything. That's something you can fix right off the bat. And then immediately, even with no small item buildup, I don't know how this happens, with no small items, a pipe just appears in the inventory. I don't know what's going on here. There's some fishy stuff, and let's get into it. Let's watch some of this gameplay. Holy shit, that's a lot of mangoes. All right, right off the bat, hey, I'm not gonna look at the laning stage, I promise. But I respect the starting item build. I'm a huge fan of the mango spam. This shit's good. Hopefully you won your lane. Let's actually take a look at net worth. Who are you laning with? I just want to see how it went. I'm curious. So you're laning against Mars. Okay, so you shut him down pretty hard. You shut him down. Clinks isn't doing insane, but that's... Okay, you did well. You did well, for sure. Looks like things overall went pretty well, so that's good. The only thing I'd say is it's probably really, really bad that you don't have a magic stick and you have boots. Magic stick against Mars is really good because he spams abilities. It's good against Bane too, so you definitely should have bought a stick. But let's not worry too much about that. Let's get into the mid game. So in terms of your build, one thing I'd like to mention right off the bat is I really dislike your skill build. And I've seen actually pro Undyings do this as well, which blows me away. It makes no sense to me, and I'm an Undying spammer, so I guess I feel like I can have some sort of a strong opinion on this. But basically, what we'll see here is, okay, we'll watch fights in a moment, but I do want to quickly talk about items and go over that. So, you buy a Holy Locket. What does Holy Locket majorly buff on your hero? Soul Rip, right? Because Holy Locket amplifies heals, Soul Rip does that. That's what you buy it for. So why would you buy Holy Locket and not max out the ability that heals? It just makes no sense to me, right? It just doesn't make sense. And you might be like, oh, you can use the Holy Locket on your teammates. And it's like, yeah, you could do that, and that's okay, right? It's not horrible, but then I feel like if you're just trying to buy a heal item, you should probably buy Mech, which is in an AoE and gives you some armor, right? Not that Holy Locket's bad. It builds from mana boots, and it has really good build-up. I like the item. It builds from Magic Wand, too. It's a great item. I love it on Undying. I just think that if you're going to go this route, don't max out Decay. Put 2 points in Decay max for the laning stage if you're trying to dominate the lane. And then from there, I would max out the Soul Rip. So in the mid-game, you have a very, very clear purpose. Buy a Holy Locket, spam Soul Rip, and that's about it. That's all you got to do. Alright, so at the moment, we're moving on into the... Actually, let's go a bit back. Let's go to minute 15 here. So it looks like you guys are going for Roche. Alright, you have no point in Soul Rip. Damn. I mean, this is a build, but... it's okay on support. It's okay some games. The thing is, you kind of have to play like a wuss. Because you're not very, very tanky, right? You can't heal yourself with the Soul Rip. Sometimes you can spam the Decay and get away with it, but... Alright, let's get into your gameplay. So, Klink says Aegis. Looks like the game is relatively even. Maybe the enemy team is slightly ahead. Your team is going bottom, so you're going to clear the mid wave. All right. God, you guys piss me off. Can't you farm the creep wave in a way that makes sense? God! Just, if you have an okay, in order to kill away with Undying, all right? Pat, I say this because I love you. In order to clear a wave, you need to balance out the creep's HP, because you're going to decay twice to kill the wave, right? That's how it works. So in order to kill the wave as fast as possible, after using the first decay, you should hit the highest HP creeps. You should also make sure the first decay hits the range creep, so that the second decay then kills the range creep, right? Otherwise, you're wasting time. So when you're killing this wave, you should be hitting this big HP creep and this creep. I know this seems like a small deal, but trust me, if you do this multiple times a game, you're just wasting time, and there's a good chance you're not going to be able to get down a good ward because you're not there in time or save a teammate, right? Time is what's the saying? Time is important, all right? That's not the saying, but you get the point, right? So I really would have liked to see you clear this importantly. I know it's weird to start the video there for a supporting video, but I don't think that advice is given a lot. So I think it is quite important. As you'll clear up the mid wave as well. I mean, okay. I will say I don't really think this is what you should be doing at all on Undying 5. I would keep your gameplay very, very simple, right? There's a couple things I would do on Undying. And clearing waves, by the way, it is a playstyle to clear waves on Undying. You know, the decay is pretty decent nowadays. However, what I would be thinking about is my team going to go aggressive? If my team is AFK farming, okay, I'll clear waves here and there, right? If they're not doing anything, I'll clear waves. But Undying is pretty strong at this point of the game, and I certainly would want to look to fight, especially if my team happens to have something like Aegis. So, for instance here, I would be shifting towards the bottom lane, right? I'd be very afraid that they're going to fight my team, and I'm showing mid, right? I'm basically telling the enemy team, hey, if you want to take the fight bottom, it's guaranteed at least a 4-on-5. In this case, it even would be a 3-on-5 if they decide to mass TP. I guess Deuce the TP's bottom just to defend the tower. That's some crazy stuff going on. Okay, you're going to get hooked mid and die. But yeah, this gameplay just doesn't make a very large amount of sense. Also, one more thing to say about pushing in this mid wave is you got to be really careful, right? Mid is the most dangerous lane in low MMR, especially in the Herald bracket. Because the lower MMR you go, the more people generally sit around mid. They're too afraid to expand their horizons, right? Or to put that more simply, go to the side lanes. So you want to be very careful about playing the mid lane, and what I would recommend in the nighttime as a support player, especially in the mid game, one of the best things you can do is put down mid wards during the night. They could get dewarded, and they often will, but if you can protect them or put them in a sneaky position, they will give your team a disgusting amount of information, and the ability to win mid fights, which often people will take in this bracket. So yeah, definitely look to take the mid fights. I'm sorry, to get down that mid ward. I really do believe it's quite crucial. One more thing I'd also like to say is at this point in the game as a support, especially Undying, it can be very confusing what to do. And so the main thing you should do is buy the smokes, right? Because this is going to be your main way of having impact, which is coordinating your team. And even in the Herald bracket, I know people tell me, I'm in the Herald bracket. No one listens to me. They don't do what I say. They don't care. You can't believe that. If that's what you believe, you're just kicking yourself in the nuts. There's no other way to put it. There's actually a lot of other ways to put it, but the point is that let's say you think your team should fight. Now, how do you determine when your team should fight? Because as Undying 5, yes, you can push out waves or you can stack, but like in Dota, generally as a support, at this point of the game, you're pushing out waves, stacking, or smoking and fighting, or just fighting in general, right? These are like the general options of Dota. As Undying, you don't really want to farm too much. Could you? Yes, you could. Could you stack? Yeah, stacking agents for Klinks is absolutely fantastic. So if nothing's happening, those are both great plays. But if the waves are in a good spot, so right now, bottom wave needs to be pushed out a little bit, right? Mid lane's a bit dangerous. Okay. So yeah, nothing crazy. But my team has an Aegis, right? My team has an Aegis, and the enemy team has like this Medusa comp, this Drow Medusa, so I'd be pretty afraid of going into the late game. So what I would try to do is get my team to push this wave in, or I would push this wave in, right? Because I want to advance the map. And the easiest way you could advance the map is by picking a lane to push in, and then after you push it in, maybe one, maybe two waves, depending on how safe you think it is, you get your team to smoke down that lane, right? Because then, if you happen to win a fight in that area, you can transition it into the nearby tower. Also, when you push in that creep wave, you're naturally going to have vision in that area, so it creates this simple play as a support where if your team is AFK, which they are right now, AFK, Pretty AFK. No fucking clue what this guy's doing. You can push in a lane and then make a play according to that. And it's kind of an easy way to set things up as a 5. So like for instance here, your Hoodwink has this really good deep vision. I have no idea what he's doing once again. But you have this really deep ward. So what I would have done is I would have pushed in the bottom lane if I thought it was safe, right? Depends. Often it is safe because in Lomomar people are just too afraid. Like literally people just spend most of the game mid. They're just too afraid to do anything or like miss a fight. But yeah, you can smoke to this ward, right? This is a great smoke here. Your Clinks has this Gleipnir, so you have a form of control, which is nice to have in a smoke. Your Hoodwink actually has a really odd flank, and you have good deep vision. So this would be a situation where I would walk in between them, I would spam ping them, smoke them, and then run to here. Because, you know, as an Undying, I mean, we could talk about spell execution, that's the next thing, but in terms of a support player, it's your job, because your team has to focus on farming a bit more than you do, right? They have to spend their brain energy on farming. It's your job, largely your job, to take the information on the map and basically say, where's there an opening? Where's there a gap? Where's there a numbers advantage? Because here, this guy sees you. I mean, you're walking up to him, and I mean, how is this gonna work, right? You have to hope this guy's eyes are closed, right? Like, I don't know. It's just not gonna... What the? What in the... Who are you tombstoning? Who are you tombstoning? They're not even close! I'll try to be less harsh. You know, I'll be a little bit harsh. But what are you tombstoning? There's no one even close to you. They can just walk away now. What? Alright, this is pretty Chad. You're kind of just walking in. Why are you pinging your Clinks? What's going on here? What's going on? What's going on here? What's going on? I don't know what's going on. You're pinging your Clinks. What's happening here? You get gone on, which is definitely an overextension because no one's even close to you. So it's a bit questionable. But okay, at least you tanked the arena, so there's some value in that. You're pinging your Clinks. I don't really know what you're pinging them for. I really don't. Okay, you get gripped, and you die. Alright. Yeah, so a couple things. I would rarely initiate with Undying, and the reason why is if you initiate with Tombstone, they can walk away from the Tombstone. Unless you hit them with Flesh Golem, but that requires you to sneak up on them with the ward, which you definitely didn't do here. So unless you're doing that, you certainly don't want to initiate with Tombstone, because, as I said, they can walk away. So what I would be doing here is I would just have patience. If my teammates are being stupid, which, by the way, if you want your teammates to go in and fight, smoke them! I promise! Even in Herald, I bet it works. More than you would think. When people get smoked, they're like, oh, okay, I guess we're going to kill someone, right? Just like flicks it on in their head, right? They're like Pavlov dogged into thinking if I get smoked, I have to fight. So it's a good way to like kind of, you know, put a leash around your teammates and drag them around the map if you think it's a good play, right? By the way, you can kind of just prevent them from farming by doing that, which is also not good. So just be careful that you're not over smoking for no reason. But for instance, here, as I said, you have this good deep ward. You're pretty strong. You got the Aegis. You got Gleipnir and Clinks. Like, there's a clear play to be made. And so yeah, I mean, I guess you're baiting here, maybe. Okay. Alright, you guys get a triple kill, nice. You play on the ward, you got the Aegis. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't really like how you set that play up, but it did work out, so there's something there. Okay, you go push in the top lane, which honestly I don't hate here. I really don't. I don't mind you pushing in the top lane and connecting with your team. I think that's actually a great play. I think even you could have gone 2 waves there just because the reason why I say that, so if you know, to know whether or not you should farm, basically you want to try to see if your team's fighting or not, but because your entire team is retreating and you see the enemy team mid, this to me would be a signal to continue pushing out the wave and be like, okay, I can go a little bit further. I'm not threatened by a kill and my team is probably not going to feed. Not guaranteed, but they're probably not going to feed and I don't need to be behind them. Also, I don't have Flesh Golem, so I'm a little bit weak. So that'd be a great time to push in that top wave, and that could have been a play for you here. Okay, you could probably heal your Zeus, or not. That's fine. What'd you take? You take the K damage? Damn, you're really trying to farm. All right, you're trying to farm. I mean, I don't really think it's good as a support to take the K damage, but it does help you clear waves. I don't know, it's a weird one. What happened here? You just walk up to the Pudge? You know, I really don't have too much to say here. I think my main piece of advice is when you bump into an enemy which is smoked, which technically is a great play on your half because you're breaking a smoke, I would not continue to run at them. Especially when my ultimate ability is down. That would be my suggestion here. Not too much to say besides that. Damn, you're just a bait king apparently, huh? You're just a bait king. I mean, to be fair, once again, like, the problem with these plays is good players, and let's be real, this is Herald. It's not good players. Anytime I say something like that, I'm like, it sounds so egotistical, but I don't know how else to put it. The point is that they would kill you and then run away and then not just die like that. And so your death wouldn't be good, right? And that's what you have to be afraid of. You kind of need your deaths to be closer to your teammates, because better players are going to run away faster after they kill you. They're not just going to assume, oh, I can just keep going and I can just stay where I am no matter what. But okay, let's keep going. Okay, a bit of a weird engagement here, but I just want to quickly go into spellcasting and get it refined for you a bit. So the main thing I'm going to be prioritizing at this point of the game is getting off my flesh golem, which you actually do in this upcoming fight, and then getting off a clean tombstone. And then from there, it's soul rip and then decay. The reason why soul rip is my priority at this point of the game is because with the holy locket, it's a very, very strong heal. So that's why it would be my priority. I want to focus on saving my teammates, not really like buffing people up or, I mean, stealing strength or whatever. I mean, obviously decaying is okay. Like, this is not a bad decay by any means, but after you drop the tombstone, the big mistake you make here is like you just don't cast soul rip at all. And this is a big thing that holds people back. They don't realize it, but like you can be stuck in your bracket largely because of this spell casting issue. You're just not casting your spells. Like, I mean, it's just a problem, right? There's no other way for me to put it. This drow ends up ripping into your clinks, and she should be dead. Right? She should be dead. You also could have canceled Grip by soul ripping the Bane and killing him. So basically, you could have saved Clinks by killing Drow here or killing the Bane. And you just didn't do either. And now he dies, and now you probably die too. Right? So it's like, okay, maybe you're okay. But the point, the hook. But you get the point, right? Gotta be quick. Nothing else to say. I don't think your mid-game gameplay here is like bad. I think your movements were fine. You push in a top wave, you connect with your team, you show up to the fight. I think it's really bad that you don't buy a single smoke and you buy a holy locket and don't max soul rip. That I really don't like at all. That's a Chad war. You just walked across the river and put down a war. Holy, that is some confidence right there. The reason why is they're probably going to have vision on you if you walk through the river and see you put down the ward. So if that ward doesn't get dewarded, I'll be shocked. But either way, let's keep going. You guys also have 2 wards now. What the? Alright. What the? Did Clinks just place that? What's happening? Why do you guys have 2? I don't get it, dude. I don't get it. Alright, doesn't matter. I actually would keep the Buckler in over the Bassi, and I would keep the Raindrops in over the Bassi as well, because I just want to be as tanky as possible. You're not going to have a mana problem with 1300 mana as a support, so I would prioritize being as tanky as possible. A bit of a small thing, but still. And then, yeah, I mean, I'm going to repeat myself again just because I think it's important. Please buy smokes and use them. Like, at this point of the game, yeah, there isn't really something clear to do as Undying. Like, get down good vision, which, I mean, this was a sussy ward, but I guess it works out. And then, like, play around that vision, right? Get your team to smoke to that vision. That's the best thing you could do. Get your team to coordinate, get them on the same page, and get them to play around your vision to the best of your ability. Doesn't have to be with 5 people. Doesn't have to be with 4 people. Give me 3, 2. Just get, get a gang squad, get a stun, and get some damage, and then, go kill someone after your waves are pushed out. And, like, Dota is a lot deeper than how I'm putting it, but this is a great baseline for someone at around this level. Even if you're Guardian or Crusader, you got to be doing the things that I'm saying. None of this is just Herald-specific advice, right? Whoa. Okay, you need to stop killing yourself. I don't know what else to say, just stop killing. I mean, here there's a couple of things to say. So, lead with Flesh Golem, because if you don't lead with Flesh Golem, you lose HP, right? You get less HP from Flesh Golem. It's just how it works. I don't know how else to put it. Basically, the later you Flesh Golem, the worse for your HP. And then on top of that, you want to, if you're gonna decay here, which is kind of not a good idea because your main carry just died. So when your main carry dies, you should go look to push out the side lanes and stall the game. So your best play here is actually to not fight because Clinks is dead, go bottom and push out that wave. But if you are going to and you're gonna decay, decay's range is from here. You could decay him here. If you didn't max range, you could decay him here. Instead, you just want to give him like a high 5 and you try to decay him from like half the range in which you could have. Okay, maybe 2/3 of the range you could have, and then you just insta-die because of it, which is... Okay, once again, you're bait. This is just the greatest baiter of all time. You know what? Everything I'm saying is completely irrelevant. It doesn't matter. I'm wrong. This Deuce is probably going to die as well. Because Pat knows what's up. He knows how to bait the Heralds. Please don't take this seriously. Please actually position properly and cast Decay for max range. I beg of you. But still, you're actually the master baiter. I can't believe there hasn't been a single smoke purchase this entire game. I'm going to blow my brains out. Why would you do that? I don't understand. I actually can't understand this logic. I actually cannot understand. What compelled you Just, I mean, you have to be trolling. There's like no possible way you do this. I don't understand. I actually don't understand. There's no chance you just sell your Holy Locket to buy Wraith Pact, as if this item is that broken, where it's a good idea to sell an item to buy it. I mean, Wraith Pact's great and all. There's just there's just no way you're actually doing that. Like, intentionally too. Like, very clearly intentionally. That was not a mistake, right? Like, you didn't accidentally sell Holy Locket. Like, you dragged that shit out and sold it, right? No, that was 100%. That was so intentional. What are you doing? Where did you get this idea from? How did you come to this conclusion? Please, if you're watching this video, comment, how in the world did you come to that conclusion that that was a good idea? I actually can't understand. I'm actually blown away. I've never seen that before. I've watched tens of thousands of games of Dota and I've never seen that. And then once again, please, for the love of God, Pat, stop walking up and killing yourself. You're not invincible. You have 5 armor. And you sold your Holy Locket. You're not invincible. Please, stop killing yourself. Like, at this point of the game, most Undying should not be frontlining. You're a support, not a core, alright? You don't have tank items. You have like 1500 HP. Even after Flesh Golem, you're really not tanky. You have way less HP than Clinks. Just play to heal people with Soul Rip, get down a good Tombstone, and decay people. And then if someone gets isolated, hit them with Flesh Golem. Does that make sense? Like, chill around the edge of the fight and get down a good Tombstone. Don't kill yourself. Get off multiple maxed out Soul Rips and with the Holy Locket. And you will carry these fights. But instead, it's just like, you see the Medusa. You clearly know they're all behind her, right? Because they're showing. They show, you know they're behind her. And you make the decision to just ass blast into the Medusa. Buy a smoke. Make your team run like this. You see this line? Go like this. Sideswipe them and you win the game. And don't initiate. Because you should not initiate with 5 and 9, 30 minutes into the game. There you go. Bada bing, bada boom. You've won the game. If you don't sell your Holy Locket. Alright, at this point, I feel like I'm just going to end up repeating myself. So I'll probably end the video very, very soon. In this fight, it looks like you put down the Locket. Once again, you need to prioritize different spells. I mean, in this case, if my Clinks is about to die, I'm going to prioritize healing him, right? If he's low HP, I'm going to heal him. That's going to be the main thing I'm going to do. I'm going to heal, and then I'm going to focus putting down a Tombstone. Just to make sure he doesn't die. But he dies, and then you Tombstone, which is not great. But okay, big decay here. You do end up dying, which is why decay is definitely not the priority. In like 9 out of 10 times, you just don't decay in late game fights as Undying unless they overextend. No! Oh, okay. And then finally, you got to be trolling. Please tell me you're trolling. Please tell me you're trolling. There's no, or you're new to Dota. I don't know what it is. You can't have 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 open slots and 2k gold. Please buy a Windlace, buy a Smoke, buy a Sentry, buy a Dust if this guy's a Glimmer. All right, there's no Glimmer. Buy some small items. Small items are broken. They're just broken. Right? Like, you don't need a stick at this point of the game, but you should have like a Windlace and Sentries and a Smoke and some small items. I mean, you should have them because you had them in the early game, and they're broken early game in particular. I guess I'm not really advising too much that you buy, like, Magic Wand at this point of the game, but, I mean, you should already have one, and then, like, Windlace I actually would advise to buy at this point of the game, because positioning is everything. Not everything, but it's a big part of the game. Then, yeah, now at this point of the game, I mean, all I can say is just stop running in. Essentially, that's all you need to know. You can run in early game. Like, early game, if you hit a couple decays and you have, like, 16 stolen strength and you're full HP and then you click Flesh Golem and run in. Early game, AFK and fast. Oh, my God! You know what? I respect you for sending in a loss. Everything, you know, at the end of the day, I really do respect you, Pat, for sending in a loss. Regardless of the fact, win lane, lose game. Yeah, if you sell your Holy Locket, cast Decay from melee range, never Soul Rip anyone, and kill yourself every fight, did I say that twice? You're probably going to win the lane and lose the game. You're onto something here. You're really onto something. But you know what? Respect for sending in a game where, you know, you got a little bit tilted, you lost. I really do respect that. So credit to you there. Thanks for doing this. If you want your replay reviewed, actually, I have a couple people who submitted. Actually, a ton of you guys who submitted, so I need to go through those first. But I'll do more of that in the future. After I get through those replays, maybe I'll take more. But thank you guys for supporting the channel. We're almost to 8.5k subs. We gain like so many subs a day. I think it's like 60, 70 subs a day, something crazy. Like every month, I think we're gaining like 1,000, 1,200 subscribers. And I'm trying to post every single day. That's my goal for this month. Me and my editor, Zuko, we're pushing hard. We're going to do our best. We're going to try to stay consistent. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.